Okay, it should be recording, if it's not, well. Okay, so to get started with your Dell, you've got your case here, and it's a lovely case. To open it up, you are going to pull on this tab right here in front of me. It's on the top of the case, it's got this little loop right here. You slide that back, it pops open the side, you lift it up, set it to the side. That's done. Next, very first thing you're going to start with, before you touch any of the equipment in here, is you are going to ground your hands. How to do that? What I just do is I touch the metal case for the power supply. They should be grounded. You shouldn't have any static jumps to the equipment. Very first piece of machinery that we're removing is the CD, which is this thing right here. So to remove this, what we're going to do is we are going to remove the SATA cable, this orange cable right here. Slide this out, pull it out and back. That one's disconnected, and then you'll also disconnect the power cable, which is right here, this very small one. Put your nail here and slide back. If it will open. Okay. Important note, don't grab it from the power cable, the cables themselves. You want to grab it from this plastic piece right here. So now that's out of the way, you can actually take the CD out. To remove it, there's this little lever right here, which is marked in blue. Pretty easy to spot, it's not hidden whatsoever. Lift up on it and slide the CD tray back. Up, out of the way, we're good. Set it off to the side. We'll use that again later for when we're putting it back together, but that's done. Next thing we do is we are going to be removing the hard drive, which is this right here, right behind the heatsink. To remove this, there are two blue levers right here. Push on both of those at the same time, lean it back and up. Don't remove it all the way out yet because you have cables right here to remove. You're going to take out the SATA cable, which is this blue paper. You can just pull right on that, pops right out. That one's undone. And then you've also got the power, which is this right here. You can pick this up and rotate it around so you can get a better grip on it. And then grab by the plastic, wiggle this out, it's done. You removed it. That's it. Simple. Set it off to the side. We also have, what we have next is we have the heatsink, which is this big piece right here. It's got the diagram for how to remove the hard drive and the CD drive. So even if I didn't explain this well enough, you have pictures of how to remove it. We're going to take that out. Only way to remove that though is with screwdriver. You need your handy dandy screwdriver. Stick this off to the side. There's two screws, left and right corners here. You're going to, obviously, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. In this case, we're doing lefty-loosey since we're removing. That's one. Second one, we will remove right here. Done. Voila. And it's real easy to see. I'll get a better view for it. It is right here, right at the front. Shouldn't be too hard to miss. Once you've got that, rotate it up and back. Then you lift it right out. Now, it's got thermal grease. You won't want to get that on anything. It makes a mess. So to protect that, so we don't have to reapply it, and also to protect the table from getting all messed up, we are going to set this where that is facing up. And that's it. That's out of the way. Now we can see the meats of the machine, the entire motherboard. Next, we're going to remove the hinge. That way we can get to the CPU better. Again, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. We're doing lefty-loosey. So turn that to the left. Turn that to the left until it's completely out. Once it is out, lift it up and out. And the screws are just right here. They're at the two corners. They're right underneath the heatsink for when you're ready to remove it. Set that off to the side. Now we are going to remove the CPU. The CPU is this thing right here, what the heatsink was on. That big old heatsink sits on this little guy. Again, this is going to have thermal grease. You might get your hands dirty a little bit. It's okay. Your hands wash. To open this latch up to get the CPU out, there's a little lever that you push down. It's right here. You push that down, you pull it away from the little lip, and it pops open. It's open just enough to open the latch right here. you lift it open. Now, to get this out, to keep the cleanest, what I find easiest is, you see this black mark right here? You put your thumb there, lift it up and out, or your fingernail, something, a nail of some sort, to lift it up and grab the sides. Now be careful, because there are two sides to this. Obviously there's the side with the thermal paste, that'll make a mess if it's laid down, but you also don't want to put the pins here, the bottom of the CPU on the table. That's not good for it either. So what I do is, once you have it out, instead of setting it anywhere else, set the thermal paste back onto the heatsink. Just put that end right like how it was taken off. That way it keeps things clean, protects the CPU, everyone's happy. Now, before we move on, we are going to close the latch, just so it's not in our way and we don't break it. That's done. Voila. Now, we need to take out the RAM and the video card. We're going to do the RAM first because that's a little easier. How to get to the RAM though, it's underneath this black wire and all these other wires, it's right in here. We're going to have to remove the USB ribbon cable here, up at the front. So, to remove that, which is right up here, just take it from the corner, that's a little awkward, pry it with your thumb, and protect the USB port by keeping your finger in between here, and just peel it out. It's out of the way. So once we move these wires out of the way, we can now see our RAM. Our RAM are these two cards right here. There are two of them, and they require 2 fingers a piece to take apart. See these levers right here on the sides? There's one on each side. To take it out, you are going to push down on both of those at the same time. You want to do them at the same time so you don't break things. So I'm going to start with this back one here, with the black levers, and I'll push it open. It will spring up a little bit. You can just pick it up and move it to the side. See, here's your fancy RAM. So we're going to set this off to the side to protect it. I'll put that on the hard drive. Then we're going to do the same thing with the other sticker RAM. Just pop that open. Pick it up and lay it down off to the side. Okay, that's out. Next, we're going to take out the video card. This is going to be the most difficult thing to take out, not because of the steps, but because of how hard it is to actually lift it up out of the slot. To start with, we have to flip up this little latch cover at the back. It's got a blue handle. It'll pry open and lay back to the back so we can get the edge down. Don't forget to lift that up because you're going to wonder, how is this supposed to get out? It won't come out. Next, to actually lift it out, there's another little blue latch right here. You have to hold that back while lifting up from the back here. So right from the middle of the card, right there. This is going to be difficult. It comes real hard and you're not sure if it's actually going to come on. So you're just going to have to keep applying pressure until it slides up out of the way. That's normal, though it is a little tricky. Okay, we've got that done. What else do we have left? We've got our motherboard, we've got our power supply. That looks like that's the next thing we're going to take out, is our power supply. We are going to remove, actually, hang on. To take out the power supply, we need to make sure that all of the wires from the power supply are no longer plugged into the motherboard. So just trace the wires. Here's one right here. It's a 2x2. That needs to be pulled up out of the way. It's right here up at the front. It's black and yellow cords. So you're going to come up here. There's the plastic housing, and then you'll see the little latch. You'll pull on that latch to keep it released, and you slide it up and out. It's real simple. It's not too difficult to take out. Then there's one more, since the other two were just plugged into the hard drive and to the DVD drive. There's this big, long one right at the back, right by the power supply. That supplies power to the whole motherboard, and that's something we're going to take out. Again, you pull on this little latch and wiggle it and pull it up and out. This one is difficult to take out. It's going to require pulling kind of hard to get off. Once that's out, you're done. You've just disassembled the power supply off of the motherboard. You can't just slide this out, obviously, if it's not moving. To remove it, there's screws at the back. There's 3 of them right here. 1, 2, 3. Those we'll need to remove before we can continue. So let's just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey this. When you're done with the screws, put them all together, all the same color types, in one spot so you know where they are, so you don't lose them. It sucks to lose screws. We are spoiled with the other ones because the other ones don't remove. They are stuck in here. I lied, they are not stuck in there. Keep them in there, but they will not leave unless you push them out. Okay, now that we've got that out, we are going to slide the power supply forward. It slides up forward, and you hear a little thunk off the mount, and you just pick it up, lift it out, make sure it's not wrapped up on any wires. You set that off to the side. There's that one. Okay, we are really close to getting this motherboard out. Next, we are going to remove all of the wires still plugged into the motherboard, which will be the SATA one, this orange one. We'll take that out. That's out. There's a blue one. We'll take that one out as well. Come on. This one is blue, and it's a SATA port. We're going to grab it from the plastic. Don't grab it from the wire itself. We have this ribbon cable left. This one is real simple. There's a little yellow loop or some colored loop that will help you grab it. You just put your finger through there and pull up, and it pops right out. Set that off to the side. So we have 2 more wires. We've got this one right there, comes out real easy. There's a little lever on here that you push down. Then there's another one that's a white one. That one is going to be more difficult. See, right up in here. So we'll pull this up and out. There we go. That's it. We're good. Everything is disconnected from our motherboard that needs to be. So now we can actually take it up out of the case. To do so, it's still screwed down. There's 4 screws, 1 at each of the 4 corners here. We're going to use our screwdriver to get those out. You guessed it. Lefty-loosey. Okay. There we go. Pull that up and out. There's one more here. Okay, we've got all 4 screws. They're all kept in the same spot off to the side so we don't lose them. Now to actually get the motherboard out, the way this one is set up is it's kind of a tight fit right here. As you can see, there's the ports in the back that are sticking through the case. Then it's pressed right up against this fan. To get this out, you're going to pick up the motherboard and slide it forward as you're pulling out and kind of rotate it up and out. So like so. This can be a little tricky because you've got those wires to deal with. So you slide it up and then you can lift it straight out. Now I'm going to set this off to the side on the metal case just to protect it a little bit. I'll set this down. That's it. That was it. That's all you have to do. It's real simple. I'm going to close that. Last but not least, we have our fan. This one is real simple to remove. There's just one little latch here. Well, first, before we can take that latch, we have to remove the ribbon cable here. There's a loop that's black, at least that's how mine is, that you'll pull out. That pulls up out of the way. Now it's no longer connected to the front here, and there's a little latch. You pull on that, pull it back, and it will rotate out. Pull it like so, and it's up and out. That's it. We just completely disassembled the Dell. Yeah, Dell 745. Next, we're going to put it all back together. Should be fun, yes? We're going to do the steps backwards. That's no other way to do it. So we're going to put our fan in, same way it went out. You line up there's little hinges here that you have to line up with the case. You'll see it right like so. I don't know how well that shows, but it lines up, you put it back into place, or you line it up and you push it back into place until the latch snaps. Push in right by the latch, not necessarily on the latch. It appears I don't have it lined up properly. That will give you problems. So line that up, rotate it into place, and you'll hear it snap. It's a little tricky to get it in there. Well, maybe you won't hear it snap. It should snap. No, it snaps. Just you don't hear it. Yeah, you won't hear the snap apparently, at least not on mine. Next, we are going to put the ribbon cable back in. Slide it off, down and to the left. You want to slide it up underneath the fan, because if you don't, the motherboard will have a hard time going back into place. It won't sit properly. So you slide the ribbon cable back underneath the fan, then you'll plug the ribbon cable back into its slot right underneath the latch. Okay, why is this not going in? It's a little tricky. It's hard to get your fingers in there. Once that's in place, that's good. We're all set. Next, we're going to put our motherboard back in. So we'll pick up the motherboard, rotate it back around. Now, to put this back in, it's the same way like you took it out. You have to put it in at an angle. So I'll slide this down here, put it into its slot, and I will just guide it gently down. Make sure your wires aren't trapped underneath like mine right here. So that means I'm going to have to lift it up, grab the wire, and set it back down. There we go, that's good. Now let's fasten this down with our 4 screws, the silver ones, not the black ones. And they go back at the 4 corners, kind of like the States. There we go. Come on, there we go. So 4 corners. And no cross threading, that is bad. You don't want to ruin screws. There we go. So if it starts to go in hard, realign it and retighten the screw, because if you cross thread, you've ruined your screw and the hole that the screw is going into. So make sure it's straight up and down and rotate down until it's snug and won't turn anymore. Don't over tighten, just enough where